It seems small at first, almost insignificant, just taking something and walking away, something many people think they can get away with. But in the United States, the moment you decide to steal, you are stepping into a legal system that treats theft far more seriously than most people expect, and what feels like a quick decision can quickly turn into consequences that follow you for years, affecting your record, your opportunities, and your future in ways that are difficult to undo. Theft is not just about the value of what was taken, it is about the act itself, the intent behind it, and the impact it has on others. And once that line is crossed, the legal process can move faster and more aggressively than most people are prepared for. Under U.S. law, theft generally means taking someone else's property without permission and with the intent to permanently deprive them of it. And while that definition may sound simple, the way it is applied can vary depending on the situation, the value of the item, and the state where the incident occurs. One of the most important distinctions in theft law is between petty theft and grand theft, because this difference determines how serious the charge will be and what kind of penalties a person may face. Petty theft usually involves items below a certain dollar amount and is typically charged as a misdemeanor, while grand theft involves higher value items and can be charged as a felony, which carries much more severe consequences, including the possibility of significant jail or prison time. What many people do not realize is how quickly a situation can escalate from something minor into something much more serious, because there are certain factors that can increase the severity of a theft charge regardless of the value of the item, such as prior offenses, the location of the theft, or whether force or intimidation was used. For example, stealing from a retail store might start as a shoplifting case, but if force is used or if a weapon is involved, the charge can escalate into robbery or even armed robbery, which are considered violent felonies and carry far heavier penalties. This is where many people make the mistake of underestimating the situation, thinking it will be treated as a minor offense, when in reality it can quickly become something much more serious. When someone is suspected of theft, the process often begins with being stopped by store security or reported to law enforcement. And in many cases, businesses have the legal right to detain a person for a reasonable amount of time while they investigate, which means you could be taken to a back office, questioned, and asked to return the item. At this stage, many people believe that returning the item will end the situation, but that is not always the case, because the store may still choose to involve the police, and once law enforcement becomes part of the situation, it moves into the criminal justice system, where the consequences become much more serious. If the police are called, you may be questioned, cited, or even arrested depending on the circumstances, and if an arrest is made, you will be taken through the booking process where your information is recorded, fingerprints are taken, and formal charges are filed. After that, you may be required to appear in court where you will face the charges against you and have to decide how to proceed, whether by pleading guilty, not guilty, or negotiating some form of agreement. For first-time offenders, there may be options such as diversion programs, probation, or community service that can help reduce penalties or avoid a permanent conviction, but these options are not guaranteed and depend on the details of the case and the laws of the state. The penalties for theft can vary widely depending on the severity of the charge, ranging from fines and restitution to probation and jail time, and in felony cases, prison sentences can be imposed, especially if the value of the stolen property is high or if there are aggravating factors involved. In addition to criminal penalties, there may also be civil consequences, such as fines or demands for payment from the store, which are separate from the criminal case and can add to the financial impact of the situation. Many people are surprised to learn that even a small theft can result in multiple types of penalties that extend beyond the initial incident. Beyond the immediate legal consequences, one of the most significant risks of theft is the long-term impact on your record, because a conviction can become a permanent part of your criminal history, which can affect your ability to find employment, secure housing, or pursue certain opportunities. Many employers conduct background checks, and having a theft-related offense on your record can raise concerns about trust and reliability, making it more difficult to move forward in your career. For students or young individuals, a conviction can also affect educational opportunities, scholarships, and future prospects, creating challenges that go far beyond the courtroom. For non-citizens, the consequences of a theft conviction can be even more serious, as certain offenses may affect immigration status, potentially leading to visa issues, denial of residency, or even deportation in some cases, which means the impact of a theft charge can extend beyond legal penalties into personal and family life. This is another aspect that many people do not consider when making a quick decision, but it can have lasting and far-reaching effects. The reality is that theft laws in the United States are designed not only to punish wrongdoing, but also to deter it, and that is why the system takes these cases seriously, even when the value of the item is small. What may seem like a minor act in the moment can lead to a chain of consequences that affect your freedom, your finances, and your future, and once the legal process begins, it can be difficult to reverse the situation or avoid the impact entirely. In the end, the biggest risk when you steal is not just getting caught, it is everything that comes after, because a single decision can lead to legal trouble, financial penalties, and long-term consequences that stay with you for years, shaping your opportunities and limiting your options in ways that are hard to predict at the moment you make that choice. That is why understanding U.S. theft laws is so important, because once you cross that line, what follows is not just a simple mistake. It is a process that can change your life in ways that are far more serious than most people ever expect.